there's a little tricky thing here that we must understand. Remember I mentioned that one of the progressives had gone to the University of Liberia, Dr. Amos Sawyer.
As president.
As president. Now, as the years passed, the University of Liberia, this is the Moja man going as president of the University of Liberia. The University of Liberia became a hotbed for ideas. And so, and it was not just American-Liberians at the university. We had a large number of people from the Aborigine population at the University of Liberia. So what Sawyer tried to do at the University of Liberia at the time was to begin to use the university as his base to begin to put out his own ideas and increase his popularity. So Doe is now working against the quasi-academic community. And so he's becoming unpopular now, not with quote-unquote Congo people, but people seeing that they needed to move from this military government into a civilian situation, commenced buying the idea that they must return to barracks. So we're talking about a period now of about 2 years. The idea is catching on that they should return to barracks because actually they were not producing the goods that the majority of the population expected of them.
Now, the university, you said, become a hotbed of ideas. Did that develop in any way?
Yes.
How?
Oh, they started minor demonstrations on campus. They started speaking out, and I'm talking about the so-called Aborigines, and a whole bunch of the students were arrested, and most of them were from the Aborigine population. One of them that was arrested at the time is a gentleman called Komene Wise. Komene, I think it's O-M-M-E-N-Y, and I stand corrected on this. We may have to read. Wise is W-I-S-S-E-H. Another that was arrested during that time is a gentleman called Ezekiel Pajibo. That's Ezekiel as normal Ezekiel as in the, I think it's E-Z-I-K-E-L, if I'm not mistaken. Pajibo is P-A, I think G-E-B-O, Pajibo. Both of these gentlemen are crowns. Komene Wise is crown, Ezekiel Pajibo crown. They are arrested, charged with treason, and Doe wants to execute them. And so this is just to explain to you that there's this development, and not just from the American-Liberian group, but from their own group, because this academic community now sees that return to barracks must happen.
And apart from those arrests, Mr. Taylor, did Doe respond in any way to this budding student unrest?
Oh yes, he passed a People's Redemption Council order, a decree that barred any participation. I can't even remember all of the no's in that decree for that would bar students or anyone from getting involved. That was a decree, if I'm not mistaken, it's Decree 2A. That was very, very well not liked by anyone in the country. Very draconian.
How long did that decree remain on the statute books in Liberia?
Until I became president.
And then what did you do?
One of the first two things that I did as president, in fact, I think it was the first thing that I did was to publish an executive order barring that decree. The second thing that I did was during the tenure of the PRC, and even during the Dole years, there were massive confiscation of properties of all former government officials, and as an act of reconciliation, because they had not been formally charged, or there were no proof or any court proceedings against them, their properties were just confiscated and had just been occupied by individuals that did not own them. I returned all of the properties to those that had lost them.
Let's come back to the Doe regime now. Now, when those students were arrested, did you attempt to do anything about it?
Oh, yes, I did.
What was that?
I went to him and said to him that what they were about to do, in fact, the students had been deemed guilty, and there were cries from certain circles to execute them. And I said to him that that was the wrong thing to do. And I can remember saying to him that if you insist and you try to do this, I am out of here. I do not want to be in Liberia after this situation has occurred. I don't want to be around, because I told him, I said, it will be not just a catastrophic mistake, but that will probably mark an end to the People's Redemption Council government.
And did that make you popular with Doe?
Well, quite frankly, I would be fair to Doe. I would not say that on that particular incident I would have become unpopular. No, Doe did not show any real resentment for that statement. But knowing Doe, you could hardly tell what he was planning anyway. But I do not think that I fell in any bad books with him for saying that. I guess he probably just listened and said, oh, okay, I'll listen to Taylor, and you know, and probably decided to do what he would want to do anyway. But that incident, I did not sense any major rejection. He got a little upset and he said, well, you see what they have done, and this is unacceptable, and these children and this and that. He was a little angry, but he calmed down. But at the end of the meeting, I didn't leave from the office feeling any particular threat from him.